Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to tackle a topic that every single college student runs into, but let's be honest, nobody really likes to talk about it. Failure. Whether it's a class, a club, maybe even a social thing, that feeling of just falling short can be really tough. So we're going to break down how to handle it and, believe it or not, turn it into a super powerful tool for growth.
All right, let's just jump right in with a scenario that might feel a little too real for some of you. You get that first big college midterm back, you open it up, and the grade is, well, it's not what you wanted. Not even close. It's that gut punch moment, right? The one that makes you question, well, everything.
And in that moment, it absolutely feels like the world is ending. I get it. But here's the first thing, and probably the most important thing you need to hear. It's not. It's a setback. And a setback is a very, very different thing. This feeling, it's temporary. And it's a completely normal part of this whole college journey.
Okay, so let's get into our first section here and really just normalize this whole experience. We need to get on the same page about how common this is, especially when you're thrown into a brand new, super challenging environment like college.
You see this number? It's not an exaggeration. The truth is, failure is a universal human experience. If you're sitting there thinking you are the only one going through this, you're just wrong. Everyone, and I mean everyone, falls short at some point.
So let this quote really sink in. That feeling of being totally isolated by your failure, it's an illusion. Realizing that this is a shared experience, one that literally connects you to every other student on campus, that's the first step to taking away its power over you.
All right, the grade is in, the rejection email landed, the thing you were worried about, it happened. So what do you do? What do you do in those first few critical hours and days? Let's break down how to handle that initial emotional punch.
So right after it happens, your job isn't to fix it. Not yet. Your only job is to process. And that happens in two really key steps. First, you just have to acknowledge how you feel, without any judgment. And second, you have to actually give yourself the time and the space to feel it.
And these feelings you see here, they're all completely valid. It's so tempting to just try and push them away, to pretend you're fine. But that just doesn't work. The real goal is to let yourself feel them. The anger, the disappointment, all of it, without letting them define who you are. Think of it like a storm passing through. You acknowledge it, you let it pass, and then you can start to move forward.
Now, once that initial emotional storm starts to calm down a bit, it's time to shift gears. It's time to go from feeling to doing. So let's get practical and talk about how to build your action plan.
Okay, here's your game plan. It's a simple but really powerful three-step process. You've got to look back, you've got to reach out, and then you've got to look forward. It's all about turning that raw feeling of failure into a concrete lesson that you can actually use.
Let's zero in on that first step. Analyze. This is where you have to be really honest with yourself. I mean, truly honest. If you bummed that test, why? Was it because you didn't study enough? Or maybe you studied for hours, but you just didn't really get the core concepts. Pinpointing the why is absolutely critical if you want to fix it for next time. And please, remember, you do not have to do this alone. In fact, you shouldn't. Talking it out with someone, a friend, a parent, an advisor is so important. An outside perspective gives you support, yeah, but it can also give you practical insights you might have totally missed because you're just too close to the problem.
This brings us to our last and, honestly, maybe the most important section. This is where we zoom out. We stop looking at this one single event and start talking about building a long-term mindset that helps you turn any setback into a real strength.
This right here, this is the whole game. It's about making a core mental shift. You're moving away from that outdated view on the left, where failure feels like a judgment on who you are, and you're moving towards the resilient view on the right, where failure is just data. It's an opportunity to learn something new. You have to realize that failure is an event. It is not your identity.
This is such a powerful mantra to keep in your back pocket. Seriously, when things feel totally overwhelming, just repeat this to yourself. It instantly reframes the whole situation, kind of shrinks it down, and makes it feel so much more manageable. And this resilient mindset, it's not passive. It's not just about thinking differently. It's about acting differently. It means you don't give up. It means you refocus on why you started this in the first place, and you make the active choice to get back up and try again, this time armed with what you learned from your mistake. So, we've covered a lot of ground, right? From that first emotional hit to building this long-term mindset. Let's pull it all together now into a simple, memorable toolkit you can use anytime you face a setback.
And here it is, your toolkit.
broken down into 3 phases. It's a journey. It starts with the hit, where you just honor your feelings in the moment. Then you move into proactive problem solving with the plan. And finally, it all solidifies into the mindset, where every setback becomes fuel for your growth. See, it's a cycle you can use for any challenge that comes your way.
And that brings us to our final and most crucial takeaway. The goal here isn't to somehow avoid failure. That's impossible. The real goal is to change the question. Stop asking if you will fail. Instead, start asking when it happens, what is this experience going to teach me? Making that one little shift, well, it changes everything.